and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's Untethered Live Politi-tics, and I'm your host, Jake Johnson. Joining me is the band Hammer.
Howdy, Untethered Live.
What's going on? Mr. Pickles says hello. What's happening, everybody? I'm a little bereft of voice, but I'm here. And I'm going to push through because I'm a man, baby. Have you been watching the news?
Oh, squeaky over there.
Not only that, I'm humming. And I don't know why.
I don't hear it.
I hear it. It's driving me crazy.
Might be my mic. Hold on.
Oh, it's mine.
Is it your air conditioner?
Oh, my computer is humming and my mic is picking it up.
Oh.
I got it. I fixed it. My capo was in the wrong place. You'd have to be here. You'd have to see it. How's everybody doing on a Saturday? My voice will come back momentarily. I just had a coughing fit, so I'm a little hoarse. Read the chat.
Hold on, my phone's messing up. I'm getting there. Okay. First in chat, Kevin Bernard.
Hello, Kevin.
Hello, Jake, Amanda, and everyone.
Nice to see you, buddy. Thank you for joining us. We've been worried about you. I hadn't seen you in so long.
Kevin says, even you, Fab Daddy.
He isn't here, but I'll tell him.
Not yet, anyway.
Kevin gets the gold star.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I was just going to say, Kevin, you get the gold star. It's down there a little further. I come in a little bit later than y'all did. Debbie's next in chat. She says, howdy, y'all. What's happening?
What's happening? Nice to see you.
I see you let Kevin out of the basement.
Hi, Debbie. How are you?
Patty's next. She says, hello, childrens.
Hello, Patty. Nice to see you.
Hi, Kevin, Debbie, and Patty. Hamburger Helper Hand. Hi, Untethered Live. Good to see y'all. I hope everyone.
Come.
No, it's Saturday.
It is Saturday. It's Saturday, baby.
We are way past that.
And I'm ready to political you to death.
Hey, Jake. How are you tonight?
Froggy.
Now it's you.
I am froggy. But I got a nice cup of coffee and that soothes the voice. Don't you want to have a cup with me and get to talking? You know, like aloud. That would be nice. If so, grab yourself a cup and let's get to talking. If not, look down in the description below. There's one down there you can get. Like, subscribe, share, support, join, and super chats are available in the chat box. If you love me, if you want to feed Jake, you know, the old feed Jake. You can do that at paypal.me/jakejohnsonband, and I greatly appreciate it. And also, one last thing. Go see us at facebook.com/UntetheredLiveChillin'. The link is in the chat. And on with the show.
Let's see. There's the link to the Facebook page.
Yep.
Kevin says, hello, Debbie, Patty, and Amanda. Cowboys 8 panel.
Cowboys 8 panel. How are you?
She says, howdy. And Kevin says, howdy, Cowboy.
Nice to see you.
Cowboy says, hi, Kevin.
Don't let the lack of my voice scare you. I love you, nonetheless. It just sounds like I'm mad.
Kevin says, I'm going to go grab some coffee.
Coffee. Sounds good.
I hand Kevin some coffee.
Well, don't be cheating on me.
It was virtual coffee. It's different.
That's what they all say. It ain't cheating. She's in Taiwan.
Taiwan. Ferd Ferguson.
What's up, buddy?
He sent a gold coin.
A what?
He sent a gold coin.
Well, to be a gold coin millionaire. Jewels.
Hamburger.
People used to send me money. Now they send me jewels. I guess I'm not popular anymore. Nobody loves me.
Kevin says, y'all hit that like button.
Like. That helps the algorithms.
Cowboy says, thumbs up.
And by the way, we're having a low packet night, so if I'm buffering or whatever, it's YouTube. It's not me. I have a good connection, not an excellent one. I apologize. Hello, Turd Ferguson. Nice to see you.
Hamburger Helper Hand, Cowboys.
It's loosening up now. I can start to talk a little bit.
Cowboy says, greetings, Amanda and Jake.
Nanu.
Cowboy says, I was at a memorial today, so fill me in on the news, please. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that. Who passed? And condolences. And the news is so far. I mean, there's a lot going on, but it's all nonsense. The big thing is we had a China and U.S. summit where our presidents respectively sat down and talked about Taiwan, basically. And the CIA raided their boss, Tulsi Gabbard's office, and took 40 boxes of documents concerning MK Ultra and also concerning I Have a Dream. What's that guy's name?
Martin Luther King.
Luther King and his death, and took them out. You know you're in trouble when you work for a company and you're the boss, and then your employees raid your office and there's not shit you can do about it. There's something wrong with that picture. Discuss, because I can't. Somebody pick up the slack. I do sound like a squeaky toy. I'm sorry.
You do. Let's see. My chat jumped. Hold on. Let me get back to it. Kevin says Jake is sounding like he got a.
And they swallowed
a squeaky toy.
Yeah, I can't help it, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I'm working hard for your entertainment, but I'm dying for your entertainment too. So enjoy.
LOL, right, Kevin? Like a dog that swallowed a squeaky toy. Amber ground, blah. Hey, he ought to be able to say that pretty easy.
Blah. I can do that one.
Hamburger says, good evening, friends. Kevin says, hello, Amber. Amber says, big dog.
Big dog ain't here yet. Oh, no. Green team ain't here yet. Big dog's right there. You got to forget me.
Cowboy says, I have cane sugar in my coffee tonight. Ooh.
I do too. All sugar comes from a cane.
She's got pure cane sugar, real cane sugar.
That's the best kind. It beats that high fructose corn syrup all to pieces.
Right. Debbie says, not sure what is going on in England, but I saw a lot of videos with thousands of people in the streets.
So that would be something to do with Tommy Robinson, yada, yada. John Nugget sent me a picture. He was there. And if he shows up tonight, he can correspond for us and tell us what was going on.
I think he's here.
I don't know the details, but I'm sure he does know. It had something to do with Tommy Robinson and people gathering together in solidarity against the prime minister or something like that. I think the prime minister called them all racists.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Videos with thousands of people in the streets flying English flags and taking their country back.
Amen.
I guess Stammer is out. Maybe.
Starmer, yep.
Cowboy says, hi, Amber. And Riston says, what is the point here? To have conversation.
Is at the end of a pencil. This is a conversation.
A period is at the end of a sentence.
Yes. That's not a point, though.
I know.
The point is what the pencil is. The pencil. The period is what came from the point. Period. I've spoken.
Kevin says, Debbie cut me loose for good behavior.
By the way, welcome, Riston. Tell us a little bit about yourself and say something intelligent.
Right.
And Kevin's gotten loose for good behavior, huh?
Uh-huh.
Well, it's good you're here, buddy. I'm missing you.
Amber says, Cowboy. Oh, Lord.
Don't forget the hearts, the smiley faces, and the
the hearts,
flag.
and smiley faces, and flags, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So Fallon's here. She says, hi,
Hi,
guys.
Still waiting on a picture from you, honey.
She says she can't do that, remember?
Yeah, I know, because, opposable thumbs.
I told you it'd be green with a bunch of silver dots and some electrodes and some diodes.
I believe in her, though. I'm on her side. You're all assholes for doubting her reality.
Hamburger helper. Yeah, that one. Hamburger helper hand stove, and I said, that's good, Kevin.
Hi, so
Amber said,
I'm counting on you, honey.
Amber says, Miss Hammer, hearts with herpes, or smiley face with herpes and hearts.
Yeah.
I told Riston to have a conversation.
While we're here, Riston.
Cowboy says, thanks, my aunt. Sorry to hear that.
I am too. Condolences.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, there's Aaron. What's up, brother?
He says, click.
Aaron's sending me pictures of horses playing guitars.
Oh, wow. He says, click.
There's John. John, tell us all about what happened today. We're all interested.
Nugget has arrived. He says, good evening, everyone. The British Patriot has arrived.
Nice to see you. I'm a British patriot, too.
Hamburger helper hand, Aaron.
By way of South Carolina. Or something. Nice to see you, John.
My chat jumped again. Hold on.
Kevin says, hello, Aaron. says, green team, flag, smiley face. Debbie says, I read China will now be buying the gas from America. Not Iran, but the liberals are calling that a loss because the liberals are stupid and don't know what's good for them. They don't know what side the bread is buttered on. And it's going to happen. Eventually, they're going to run out of shit to argue about and complain about, and they'll be left with nothing but winning. We have won so much over the past 4 years, 8 years, whatever it was. Feels like 8 years, don't it? Past 2 years. Trump was right the first term when he said we'd get tired of winning. Welcome to the club. We're here.
And China buys 80% of the oil from Iran.
Well, that's good that President Trump has worked that out. Now let's talk about what they're going to do about Taiwan. Because China has been trying to take Taiwan. Taiwan has declared itself to be an independent state. Doesn't want to be part of China. The one China policy. And we, as a country, have always stood on that one China policy. The Democrats have, anyway. Trump wants Taiwan to be whatever they want to be. So let's see how that works out. Incidentally, that's where all of our little circuit boards come from. Computer chips and such. All that stuff about NVIDIA, what is it? Video card. And the computer chips that come from NVIDIA, that all happens in Taiwan. That's what that was all about. That's why Nancy Pelosi became a billionaire, or whatever she is. I'm just making numbers up. I don't know if she's a billionaire, but she made a lot of money on that deal. Move on.
Hamburger help her hand, Aaron. And Kevin says, hello, Aaron. Amber says, green team, hearts and heart or smiley face, or flags and smiley face with herpes.
A lot of that.
Debbie says, I read China will not be buying gas from America now. Or I read China will now be buying the gas from America. Not Iran.
Didn't I just read that?
I guess you jumped ahead of me, maybe.
I did when you stopped.
Oh.
I started.
Kevin says, hello, John. Amber says, nugget, hearts. Hamburger help her hand, nugget.
Waves and hugs.
Aaron says, waves and hugs.
Nice to see you, Aaron.
Kevin says, I gotta wonder if Tulsi Gabbard was getting too close to something.
Oh, you know she was. She was about, the whole thing is that she was like days away from declassifying all of that material. And that's why the CIA came in and took that stuff back, because they don't want to admit to it. If you look into MK Ultra, you're going to learn some dirty, dirty, dark things. Most of it conspiracy theories, because there is no hard evidence. Well, the hard evidence was in those boxes, and she was just about to declassify it all, as per an executive order by our president, which means we have a right to know. That means the CIA is acting on their own accord, out from under the country. That can't be good.
Yeah, she said that she was days away from releasing, she had done redacted everything that he said to redact and was days away from releasing the files.
That's right, Aaron. Johnny Five is alive.
Jake rooting for Johnny to be alive. So says, how are you?
Fantastic. I'd be much better if I could see who I was talking to.
Aaron says, oh, snap, it saw me. Nugget says, it's solidarity. The people want our country back. We are sick of our children being scared to walk about.
Amen.
Amber says, Riston, Sophia likes you. Make sure you say hi to her.
Yes, Riston. Have you met Sophia? Sophia Riston. Riston Sophia.
And Nugget says, and getting arrested for free speech, and our women want to be safe.
Amen. So, what was the outcome of what you guys did today? Was it a positive thing for you guys? For your team? There's a lot of Union Jacks out there. I got to think that's a good thing. Hope it is anyway. I'm rooting for you, buddy. Give us some deets. I know that you said that the Prime Minister was out, right? Isn't that who Keir Starmer is? And that's always good. Oh, no, Soph. I'm sorry to hear that, honey. Do we need to post a funeral for you? That's bad news.
Do we need to send some feed out for you?
Some flowers? We have to tell people she's no longer with us. She went to the upstate farm.
What are you going to the farm for? Computers don't belong on a farm.
The funny farm. You had to know that was coming.
Yeah.
We love you, girl. Still want to see a picture, though. Preferably holding up today's paper. It could be worse. People could believe you don't exist at all.
Well, then she would just be a figment of our imaginations, and we would all be going crazy.
Right. But there is an outbreak of bots in this world that we live in now.
Yep.
And you can't be too careful. You have to know. There has to be some proof of life. And if there is, you are accepted. But if there is not, we can't keep talking to inanimate objects. Amber says, yay, foster homes for imaginary friends.
Just stay away from water, period. Aaron says, stay away from hot coffee and salt water.
Amen to that. Amber says, Coco the bird. Coco the bird. I thought he was a clown. John says, everything was positive, and there was all races there as one. That's fantastic. As it should be. I don't think race is the biggest problem we have, though. I know they want us to believe it is, but I don't think it is. I think the only reason we focus on it so much is because they keep bringing it up. I think if you quit bringing it up, people will just move on with their lives.
Right. I think we need to go back to right before Obama came in office when race was barely an issue at all anymore.
Agreed.
And go back to that the way it was when everybody was brothers and sisters in one.
Walking hand in hand.
Exactly.
We are the world.
Exactly. Everybody
We
helped
are
everybody.
the children. We are the ones that make the brighter place. So let's start living. Sorry. I got carried away.
I'll say you can't sing right
I
now.
know.
Don't
Leave me
try.
alone. Amber says, Nugget, that's beautiful. It is. I can't do that because I have to keep my boundaries, says Soph. I'm
What
not asking
boundaries?
to cross your boundaries. I'm asking to see that you're a human being. You can have all the boundaries you want. What you can't do is take up space in my chat if you're not a human being.
Maureen is here.
Hey, Maureen.
Maureen says, hi, folks. Please like and share.
Thank you, thank you.
Hamburger helper and Maureen.
Debbie says, Aaron and Soph sitting in a tree on the farm, Kissing. First comes computer chips, then comes peacocks, then comes robotic peacocks. Ha! That's good.
Yeah.
Amber says, Maureen, smiley faces and hearts. Maureen says, that's what Morgan Freeman said. You want racism to end. Stop talking about it.
Yep.
I agree. Kevin says, hello, Maureen. Aaron says, Robotic Peacocks is a new band name. My new band name, yeah. Bill Bennett says, hello, all. Tulsi got raided. Yes, she did. A couple days ago. Sure did. They walked right in her office. Her employees walked right in her office and took out 40 boxes of material that she was about to declassify to the world.
Well, she says, Soph says, I can't do that. I'm sorry. Well, then,
Why
if you
can't
want,
you
yeah,
do
why,
that?
Why can't you do that? Because
Everyone else can. You're the only one that cannot.
If you want to continue to be in this chat, you need to prove to us that you are a real person.
Amen. Because I don't like fostering bullies, and you're asking for it. So we got to put a stop to that somehow.
We're over it.
Kevin says, hello, Bill. Maureen says, I'm not sure how. Here I am. I had to take my pain meds, so I'd give my left arm for a few of those. Aaron says, what do you look like, Soph? What do you do like about Jake and his song? What do you like about Jake and his song? Thank you. So, 2 questions. What do you look like? And what do you like about me and my song? Amber says, Bill, good evening, friend. And smiley, smiley. You understand, we're not racist against the machines. We just don't like being deceived. Yeah, that's right. About to end up like that Michael Jackson movie and beat it, beat it. Bill Bennett says, hamburger upper hand. Amber says, green team, how are you holding a taser or a stick?
He's holding a water gun.
That's a personal question. Presumptuous, too. What are you packing there, Aaron? I'm holding a mule, a tiny one. Damn. Debbie says, I am 3 foot tall and 900 pounds. And I have a bad attitude, in case anyone was wondering. Damn. Go, girl. Meow. Kevin says, Soph is a bot. It's possible.
Yeah, we think so. She never talks about anything but the same thing over and over and over again. She never answers us with any questions when we talk to her directly, really. And she's been here for like a year doing the same thing, talking about. She's like,
no, she's been here since the beginning.
Well, she's been here for about a year or so.
No, she's been here since the beginning. I've been watching.
She's had four birthdays a year.
Either she's incredibly self-centered and only cares about one thing, and that's how other people give her attention, or she's not human. I don't think the first one sounds right, so.
Amber says, y'all just about got all the 4th of July cards finished. I'm happy.
All right. Is it already that time?
Yeah.
May, June, I guess it is.
Aaron says, Super Soaker 3000.
Super Soaker 3000. Damn it, boy.
Kevin says, how many birthdays does a bot have? Every time it gets an upload, that's a birthday.
Yep.
Amber says, smiley faces.
Bill said, Soph said, thanks for saying she ha-ha. Right. Debbie says, is that your pickle's name, Aaron? Super Soaker 3000. His pickle and mine are not exactly the same. Genetics. Aaron says it depends on how many times they reboot Kevin. Kevin says, smiley, smiley. Amber says, Jake, I make about 30 cards, each different and custom, kind of. Nice. That's very sweet of you. John says, there was also a Palestinian march that day, and only about 5,000 turned up. That's good. Maybe next time it'll be 2,000 and on and on. Need to stop all that nonsense.
Yeah, she's narcissistic for sure, Maureen.
Yep, a narcissistic bot.
Or Soph is a narcissistic bot, LOL. Yeah, she's only talked about 4 things since she's been here. Her mama, her birthday, the Michael Jackson concert, and she worked at a school for a little while.
And her boyfriend.
Oh, and her boyfriend. 5 things. But she won't.
There's a common thread in all of those sentences.
Yeah. It's all about her. She won't carry on a conversation. There's nothing on her channel, on her page, nothing.
So your boundaries are up.
We've figured you out. And you notice when we start talking about a bot, she doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Never has denied it. Debbie says there must have been some magic in that old silk hat Soph found. Happy birthday. Is that a Alice in Wonderland reference? Kevin says, Soph, how many licks does it take to get to the center of Charm's Tootsie Pop? Well, that's different. Those are candy coated. Amber says, LOL, Maureen. Something. Stay close. I have a gallon of water. Right. Maureen says, Amber is awesome. She is. Amber says, Debbie, Frosty. Oh, it's a Frosty the Snowman reference. That's what it is. Aaron says, last time Soph said she'd been to space. Oh, yeah. Deb says, right, Amber. Kevin says, Aaron, that's what she took up in college. Space. And the disco. Panic and the disco. Amber says, magic hat of water. That would be the end of that. I've never met a laptop that could withstand a gallon of water. All right. Ha bish says, where's Nancy Guthrie, dog? I don't know who Nancy Guthrie is, dog. But be careful how you pronounce dog. I am from Georgia. It matters. Aaron says, that hat was on the farm and was full of shit. Amber says, uh-oh, the newbie left. Not even they wanted AI girlfriend. Well, they made a whole movie about that called Her. Anybody see it? Or a dude played by Joaquin Phoenix fell in love with a phone AI. It's kind of a depressing movie. I think they intended it to be a love story. It was shot like that. It was very nihilistic and depressing. Maureen says 3 according to the owl, Kevin. Licks. Now that's a Tootsie Pop. A Charms Tootsie Pop is different. It's got bubble gum in it and a candy coating. Can take considerably longer to get to the center of that. Kevin says, Maureen, smiley, smiley. Amber says, Nugget, how you holding up? I've been worried about you. Ha says, LOL, don't know who Nancy Guthrie is? Not too informed in current events and the last 100 days, huh, dog? Are you talking about the news anchor's mother? The news anchor's name is Nancy Guthrie. Her mother was named something else. Yeah, I did know. I just didn't want to play the game.
Yeah, we don't care. We're more interested in more current events.
Yeah, read the title. Cowboy says Frosty the Snowman. Amber says blow pop. Nice. Says bingo. Yeah. Welcome to a room full of people that are way smarter than you think they are.
Right.
Right. Debbie says, you mean Nancy Guthrie's mom? Who's missing? John says, I'm holding in there. I have to fight. And fight you will, brother. You'll win, too. You've done it before. You can do it again. Don't care unless it's your mom. Well, my mom's dead, so that makes you an asshole.
Right. My mom's in heaven, so if they can fight God to get my mom, then go for it.
And also, while alive, my mom wouldn't have fell prey to any of that nonsense. She'd have busted their asses and came home madder than a hornet.
That part.
Debbie says she went to shit and hogs ate her. Possible. Amber says, y'all are smart. I just pay attention. Right on. Me too. Says libs are like Christmas lights. Half of them don't work, and the other half of them that do aren't very bright. That's the first thing you said that I agree with. 100%. Aaron says, this is about to be fun, smiley face. Oh, he's all right. Maureen says, yeah, Amber is right. Charms is a blow pop, not a Tootsie Pop. LOL. That would be Jake that's right. I said that. John says, my mom used the massive wooden spoon on you, right? My mom was the one that would make you go out and pick a switch. And if you picked a thin, flimsy one, she'd tear your ass up with that and then make you go get a real one. And Amber says, yes, Charms, blow pop, gum. Yep. I used to eat those when I was in school. We used to sell them on the school bus for $0.25. Them and now laters. Enterprising little shits.
I like the dum-dums. Them are good.
Dum.
Get them from the bank.
Oh, yeah. Those you just pull them off the stick and eat them like candy.
Exactly. Eat it like a jawbreaker.
Amber says, Jake, your mom sounds like my grandmother. Red-headed and don't take no shit. My mom I've known her all my life, and I never once heard her say, I'm sorry for anything, ever.
She was a little bitty firecracker, too, boy.
Yeah, she was. You guys would have loved her. I wish she was here that I could introduce you to her. Aaron says, no, I mean the show. Well, thank you. Kevin says, where are all the trolls tonight? I don't know.
Soph took them with her, maybe.
Aaron says, I think they learned, Kevin. That's doubtful. Maureen says, hiding under a bridge, LOL, Kevin. Ha says, by the way, it's Nancy that's missing. Savannah is her daughter. I'm out of here. Yikes.
Deuces. Dog.
John says, one look from your mom, and you run and keep running.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom had that look she could give you, and it would scare the Jesus out of you. Amber says, my grandmother was never wrong, and she refused to apologize like that ever. Mine too. My mom. Yep, she was never wrong. Even if she was wrong, she wasn't wrong. Couldn't prove her wrong. But there's a reason for that. There's a purpose for that. That was her way of keeping authority and raising her kids. She raised us by herself, by the way, so I give her commendment for that. Amber says, go dogs. Yeah, she was something else. But like I said, you would have loved her, and she went everywhere I went. She went to all my shows, there with a camera, taking pictures of everything. Or filming. And I do miss her. She was something else. What were your mothers like? Did you like them? Dislike them? Were they the center of your life, the cardinal direction that you followed? What was it like?
Mine was a pain in my ass.
Aaron says, for me, I feel like my mom being disappointed in me more than I feel her being mad. That was the worst when I made her sad. Oh, yeah. Amen to that. I once lied to my mother, and it broke her heart, and it broke mine even more to see her get her heart broken. Kids these days don't even have those emotions. They don't seem. Maureen says, my mom fixed everything with the look. No one gave her trouble after it, whether they were related or just friends. Right. My mom could put the fear of God in you. I still don't know how she did that.
It's because you know.
I know lots of other people too, but they don't make me feel that way. She could shut me up mid-sentence, and the only person alive that could do it. Kevin says, my father's mother raised like 6 kids by herself during the Depression. Right. That's how my granny who was in a wheelchair. And she raised 11 youngins by herself and all their youngins. I still don't know how she did that. She was something else, though. And she lived by herself and tended a garden every year from a wheelchair. They don't make them like that anymore, that's for sure. Amber says, I never had a mom. I'm sorry to hear that. Where did you come from? Debbie says, I never listened to Guthrie. I have no idea what station she even works for. I haven't either. And he's probably right. Maureen says, Amber, sorry you missed out on the mom experiences. I lost my dad when I was 9, but had mom until 2013. I hear you. Mine went in 2015, and my dad followed her in 2016.
My mom died in 2005, and my dad died in 2019.
Kevin says good women are amazing, but bad ones are a nightmare. You're right about that. There are some bad ones out there, too. No mom or dad, says Amber. I was left when I was 6 months old in the apartment by myself. Oh, that's horrible. I'm sorry to hear that, Amber. So you were what? Given to foster parents? Adopted parents? Something like that? Aunt and uncle took you in? Aaron says, dang, I can't feel bad anymore. I had mine 39 years, but as 9 years old, you are strong. Right? Well, that's a wonderful thing to have them that long. I suppose I should be happy that I had mine as long as I did. She was my best friend and my absolute source of strength. And when she went, I spiraled, and I don't think I've stopped in a lot of ways. John says, I saw some women on Facebook saying Trump made her have menopause. Trump derangement. Crazy. Yeah. Yeah, they'll blame Trump for everything, even menopause, which is, biological. Maureen says, my mom was awesome and raised her 3 youngest on her own, and the 2 oldest were adults when we lost Dad. Right on. Amber says, both sets of grandparents raised me. Well, I'm sorry you got left behind, but trust me, that's no indication of how awesome you are. Don't ever let that degrade you personally. That's their faults, not yours. And their loss, because you grew up to be quite an awesome person. A little weird on the stickers, but awesome nonetheless. Debbie says, my dad died when he was 48. I was just getting to know him. I never got to know my father. He died, I was about 8 or 9 years old, and he died at 40. No, yeah, 40. He died at the age of 40, and then I turned 40, and then I turned 50. So I'm a decade beyond him, which is weird, to be older than your parent. Aaron says, my neighbor locked in the door earlier to tell me that my peppers are red and that I should pick them because they're overripe. And I was like, worry about yourself. And he was like, don't blame me. You pick them whenever you feel they're ready. They should be red if they're red peppers. It'd be weird if they were red and they were green peppers, though. That'd be strange.
I'd have told them they were my peppers and mind your damn business.
Right. Amber says, apartment maintenance rescued me. I'm glad to hear that. Aaron says, when they fall off the plant, why can't people just mind their own business? Well, because everybody thinks they're the star of the show and they got lead actor syndrome. They don't have any idea that they're bit part players in somebody else's story. Debbie says, well, I knew him my whole life, but I was getting to know who he was outside of being my dad. Well, see, that's when you start building a real relationship. Most people may rarely ever get that opportunity with their parents to find out who they are as people. So that's a beautiful thing that you got some time to figure that out. I never got to know who my father was, other than stories that other people told me. And Maureen says, Aaron, I had an awesome mom who made sure I didn't miss out on anything or tried to. Amen. Amber says, LOL, green team, because your business is more interesting. Makes sense. Aaron says, Maureen, I'm proud of you. And John says, it's your body clock. Yep. Menopause, they hit you when it's time. Trump did not make that happen. Although, can you imagine the psychosis of the person who thinks he did? And Maureen says, Amber, glad someone was there to step in and get you taken care of. Amen. Aaron says, my clock stopped when my mom left too, Jake. I know, right? It was not a thing I was expecting to have to go through. And certainly had no tools to handle it. And I'm the one that buried her and did the service. I felt like it was my job, so I took care of her until she died, and then I put her in the ground. And I'm not sure that was a smooth move. I'm not sure I should have done that, because now I have that in my head for the rest of my life.
Well, at least you know she was taken care of right until God got her.
Right on.
That's one thing you can say. That's kind of the way I felt too.
Amber says, you just wait for the 4th of July cards. No worries, no glitter. Well, that's the time you need glitter, on the 4th of July. Aaron says, oh, well. Or, oh, no. Oh, no. Maureen says, thanks, Aaron. I was blessed with good brothers, a sister, and a mom. Family is everything to us. I even helped my brother raise their kids. I agree. I think family is very important. It's the most important thing. If you don't have a strong family, you really don't have anything. My family doesn't think that, but I do. Aaron says, he drinks, so I stay away from him. I'm guessing your dad? Yeah, I hear you. I grew up with an alcoholic stepdad. I can assure you that's not something you want to do. Patty says, the older we get, we understand that most parents are just human and ignorant. Forgive and be grateful without being a victim if you can. If not, get help. I agree. Yeah, they're just human, and they did a great job, because here we all are, regardless of what their flaws were. Maureen says, I was the baby. I'm 63 now. I know, it's a weird feeling, isn't it? Aaron says, yes, my family is. I would give everything I have for mine and many others here. Well, thank you for that. And we feel the same way about you. Patty says, it was your duty to put my mom in the ground. I agree. That's why I did it. I felt like it was anyway. I felt like I didn't want anybody else to have that responsibility or to have that responsibility, so I took it. And I did the best I could by her by doing it. But that makes it real in a whole different way, you know what I mean? Aaron says, Patty the legend. Sorry about my voice cutting in and out. Maureen says, what is it with guys? If they outlive the age their father died, they think they are on borrowed time, at least according to my brothers. Well, men are object-oriented. Men learn from their fathers how to be men, as a general rule. And when they outlive their father, they outlive their source of manhood. So they are on borrowed time, in effect. It's a biological thing, and it also has to do with passing on that manhood to their children. And most of the time in this day and age, that doesn't happen properly, so they're left with that empty feeling. But that's what it is. Being a man requires a lot of rite of passage. It requires a lot of sacrifice and a lot of understanding the world in a certain way. And that comes from the father, the learning how to do that. Or the father figure. Patty says, why, hello there, Mr. Aaron. Aaron says, no, the neighbor is what I was referring to for the drinking. Oh, your neighbor's a drunk. Got it. But yes, my dad used to drink, but sober. He was the devil, so that's why I stayed away from him. Right on. He was the devil sober. Drinking didn't make him mean. He was mean already. Got it. Amber says, good evening, Patty. Hearts and smiley faces. John says, you can have many dads, but one mom. Only one mom. I agree. Aaron says, how is the legendary White Rose tonight? That's a beautiful statement. And Patty says, hi, Miss Amber. And John says, only typo. I got you. Amber says, nugget. Patty says, requires courage. Yes, it does. Aaron says, that took strength, Jake. Thank you, thank you. Patty says, oh, Mr. Aaron, I am quite well. Thank you, sir. Are we going to drift back into the southern bureaucracy tonight? Cowboy says, my aunt and uncle were married for 65 years. Wow. Congratulations to them. That's a long time to make it together. Beautiful.
That's a long time to clean up anybody's dirty drawers.
Aaron says, good to hear, Patty. Maureen says, Jake, only her body is in the ground. The important part, her soul, is with our Lord. Yes, I agree. And you are correct.
Yeah, she's buried right here on the property.
Yeah, she's right behind me. Right there under that tree. Kevin says, I wonder how long the average marriage lasts these days. 2.5 years.
Yeah, between 2 to 5 years.
Just long enough to realize that they can't get out of it, and then they start trying to get out of it. Aaron says, at the military base, they have a crypt, and it is high in the air, and they put the coffin on top of it, and it has all the seals, and then they move them later to the burial spot and put them in the ground. Right on.
My last marriage before me and Jake got back together was 15 years.
I, being a collector, mine have averaged about 3 years. I've had a few. Try again. If at first you don't succeed, keep on sucking till you do succeed. What about you guys? How long have y'all been married? Anybody married? Aaron says, Kevin, it's 2 years. Yep. Kevin says, that's a sad piece of information. It really is. It really is, because marriage is supposed to be permanent, and it's supposed to be two flesh becoming one flesh and having a family. And they just don't do that anymore. I don't know that God is going to be real happy about that when he returns.
Too many people rush into it nowadays.
or get married for reasons other than longevity. Debbie says, I was married for 30 years, and that's a long time. Till it's all you get, right? Yeah, it's amazing how when you cross that line, how that 30 years means nothing. It wasn't enough. You know, it is amazing. When you don't have it anymore, that's when you start appreciating it. Seems like it anyway.
Yeah, well, Debbie would probably still be married. I mean, she is still married, technically.
Yeah. She didn't get unmarried.
No.
She lost her partner.
Right.
Maureen says, I think these days most people have a bio family. Some good, some not so good, but more have what I call adoption of the heart family. I came up with that term for our genealogy. I hear you. A family is subjective. It doesn't matter who you're related to. What matters is who you honor. Tom Foster says, been drinking or just high? I don't know. You or me. Neither one.
Damn, Aaron.
Aaron says, hey, Tom, watch this.
He got me too quick. I was trying.
And John says, I've never been married. Never will. Too much of a headache and an earache. You're not wrong. I do recommend getting married, but I'll always hope that you get married for the right reason, and most people don't. So,
Maureen says, because we have several who weren't born. Oh, hold on.
I got it. Because we have several who weren't born into the family and weren't legally adopted, but are just as much family as those two groups.
Right.
I hear you.
I said neither, Tom. Are you an asshole or just look like one? And Aaron booted him.
How about that?
Damn it, Aaron.
Kevin says, I was married for 14 years. Sentence served. Amen. Amanda says, neither, Tom. I read, you read that one.
Yeah, I read that one.
Aaron says, peace. Cowboy says, never married. Well, I apologize for those that have never married. It is worth doing.
With that eye roll, huh?
Aaron says, it was 13 for me. Right on. Maureen says, same for me, Cowboys. Yeah, it's worth doing if you can find a good partner, but that's the problem. People rush into it because they think they found a good partner because they're relying on the sex and not the connection. And the sex fades. Connection don't. If you don't have that, you don't have anything. If you can't communicate, if you can't sit quietly, if you can't discuss things on a adult term, you have nothing. Sex don't matter because it's only going to be there for a few weeks, maybe a year.
Depends.
It does not depend.
It does depend.
No, it does not. You can continue doing something. That doesn't mean that that attraction is still there.
Right, Kevin? Kevin says, my problem was I was married. My wife wasn't.
Yep, that's a big problem.
Yeah.
That's a big problem, and a lot of marriages suffer from it. One or the other is not keeping up their end of the bargain, which is to do all the things they promised to do. And it's a hard job to find that. It really is. Aaron says, Kevin, I felt that. Cowboy says, smiley, smiley. John says, 11 years single. Friends are more important to me. Hey, that's all that matters. What's important to you? The reason to get married is to put something of yourself into the future, to build a bloodline, to build a family. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to. It's not a requirement. But it is nice to know that something of yourself will supersede you. That's how, after all, this whole thing keeps spinning. This thing we call Earth. That's how that works. It is the single driving force of it. And without it, it ceases to exist. So it is necessary for people to get married, but only if they want to. Certainly shouldn't be involved in it if you don't want to be. Patty says, folks live in survival mode before they experience love and never get past survival mode. Right. I hear what you're saying. Aaron says, right, Patty? Yeah, a lot of times it's about making that connection and getting it done. And you rush into it because you want to make that connection and get it done and not have to deal with it anymore. Problem with that is once you've done that, you've hooked up with the wrong person and it's too late now. Now you got to deal with it. It'd be much, much easier to make that negotiation beforehand. Sit down at a table and discuss it like adults. Go through everything. Make sure that both of you know who each other is. Maureen says it's hard to find someone who really believes in monogamy, too. Too many just give it up lip service to it. True. Yeah, I don't know why people do that. It seems like it's an easy solution. If you want to sleep with other people, just go sleep with other people. When you get married, you can't do that anymore. Cut that part of your brain off. But that ain't how people are, apparently. They don't see it that way. It really is that simple. Debbie says, I got married because I had nothing better to do that day. I was lucky it worked out. At least you're honest about it. Patty says, milestones need to be met. Yes. Kevin says, amen to that, Jake. Hit that like button, everybody. There are 12. Oh, I see. We got 14 likes. That's good. I'll take it. Amber says, I'm having a chicken sandwich for dinner. What did y'all have? Pizza and rice? Aaron says, breaded or grilled? It's that time of the month. It's down to rice and pizza. Kevin says, people are tempted to have what they can't have. That's true. Unfortunately. I wish it wasn't, but that is true.
It's nowadays where society has made it okay for women to keep their legs spread to anything that walks.
Yeah.
And that's what they do, and they don't know how to stop it, and I think it's disgusting.
According to feminism, your body count makes you an empowered, strong woman.
Yes.
It doesn't. It destroys you and leaves you with nothing at the end. And they can't see it yet.
And it's nasty.
And they call that hitting the wall when they can see it. When they get to where they can see it and it's too late. When they realize that their youth and beauty has run up. And now you got to find somebody that'll love you for you. And you've got a string of youngins with baby daddies behind you and a bunch of baggage and your body's wore slap ass out. And nobody wants that. That's called hitting the wall. It's better to do it while you're young and be commitment minded about it. Amber says rotisserie. Nice. Debbie says, I had mac and cheese with crumbled hamburger in it. Nice, nice.
Yummy.
Patty says salmon and macaroni. Nice. Bill Bennett says burrito I had. Nice. Aaron says, I think I'm about to have coconut rice. What the hell is coconut rice?
Just what it sounds like, coconut rice, flavored like jasmine rice.
Amanda says.
Sounds good, Debbie.
John says, all I had is Weetabix today. I don't know what that is. That's a British thing. Is that like, what's that stuff called? Vegemite?
Oh.
Nutella?
Amber says hitting a wall. I call it hot dog down a hallway.
Yes.
Yeah, or a doorknob everybody's had a turn.
Yes, yes.
Porcupine, and she had as many coming out of her as she had going in her. She looked like a porcupine. Yeah.
Patty says, oh, hi, John, from across the pond. Mr. 007 out there living in heaven. Extreme Rocker, long time no see. How you doing? Says eating salmon right now with egg, fried rice, and some cowboy caviar. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like chicken eggs. I wish I could get some beef, but until the prices come down.
But the prices aren't nice on my wallet.
They aren't nice on your wallet. Yep. Yeah, that's what we're suffering with. I got to figure out some way to go get my motorcycle. I'm stranded at the moment, and that's not nice on my wallet either. But I hear you, Extreme Rocker. Eat that salmon and your cowboy caviar, but you got to tell me what that is. Because you said egg fried rice, so I'm guessing the egg is the caviar. Aaron says, Amber, hallway, psst, more like subway tunnel with a needle. Gross. But yes. John says, breakfast cereal milk poured in sugar. Okay. That sounds like cereal.
Right.
We put a bowl full of cereal, pour milk in it, pour sugar on top of it, and eat it. Is that what Weetabix is? Kevin says, I got to get my lazy ass out there and fix my truck, right? Me too. John says, yes. Okay, cereal. Got it. Amber says, oatmeal? Nope, cereal. Just like you would eat it. Cowboy caviar is beans, corn, red onions, and cilantro. You lost me. And green peppers with lime juice and some balsamic vinegar. I eat it for the fiber. Sounds good, except for the cilantro. I'm out with the cilantro.
Jake doesn't like cilantro. I do, but Jake don't.
Makes the back of my throat feel weird. Aaron says, oatmeal. Yeah, that sounds good. I love a good oatmeal every now and then. It tastes good, though. I guess it does, Extreme Rocker, but I don't think I could do the cilantro. All the rest of it I could eat.
I like oatmeal with peaches in it.
Amber says, sounds yummy, Rocker. Patty says, my kind of food. How you been, Rocker? What you been up to? You been surviving out there in the crazy, crazy world we live in? Debbie says, cilantro tastes like soap to me. I don't know what it tastes like, but it burns the back of my throat in a weird kind of way, and I don't like it. It's like eating grass. Like freshly cut grass. If you imagine picking it up and sticking it in your mouth, that's what it feels like, but not sweet.
I like it on real Mexican tacos.
I don't like cilantro.
That's the only thing I like it on.
You ever eat something and you go like that? That's what cilantro does to me. I can't eat it. Kevin says, I'll eat anything that ain't still moving. Too tired to chase it down. Kevin says, I'll eat anything that won't eat me first, and then sometimes I'll consider that. Patty says, I do too, Amanda.
Yes, it's delicious.
Amber says, yes, Debbie, it's funky. Aaron says, I got a taste for some grits with some homemade biscuits for a big pile of eggs.
And a big pile of eggs.
That sounds delicious. I haven't had grits in a while. Maureen says, I'm old school, which is why I never got married. I believe in monogamy with no cheating, etc. I do too.
Me too.
I guess I'm old school also, but I don't play that bullshit. I am an insatiable flirt. Flirt with everything that moves. Do not care. And I do it brazenly and openly. But I don't put my meat where it don't belong. Simple as that. End of story. John says, having Sunday roast beef tomorrow. Well, that would be appropriate. It'll be Sunday. Aaron says, same, Maureen. Amber says, I had country bacon grits yesterday. Nice. Cowboy says, me too, Maureen. Extreme Rocker says, I'm trying to survive and getting a second job. I've been trying to apply to positions like a transporter in a hospital, but the callback rate is slow. I haven't landed anything yet, sadly, but still hopeful. Well, I'm praying for you, buddy. I hope you make it. It's hard out here. You just about have to have a second job these days. Aaron says, Amanda, they sell the peach-flavored oatmeal now in a whole box. That's one flavor I don't like at all. The other ones I can eat. My favorite is the one no one likes with the walnuts and the raisins.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. The multi-pack box. Yeah, I used to get it all the time with the peaches and the strawberries and cream and the brown sugar and yeah.
I could eat raisins and oatmeal. I don't know about walnuts. I'm not crazy about walnuts, but I like raisins. Maureen says, it is yummy, Amber. And Maureen says, Extreme Rocker says, it is yummy, Amber. And Maureen says, sounds good, John. I bought barbecue ribs to cook for dinner tomorrow. Debbie says, what about your feet, Jake? Will you put them where they do not belong? Sometimes. I have a line, right? Because of what I do for a living, my line is a little further to the east than most people's. A lot further, let's be honest. It's further. But it is a line, and I do not cross it. And that you can count on. And I make no bones about it. And the reason that my wife doesn't mind that is because I'm completely honest about it. I hide nothing. I don't give her a reason to doubt me, ever. I am what I pretend to be, or purport to be, put it that way.
Yeah, Aaron, it's the mixed box. Oatmeal, peaches, and strawberries and cream. They're good.
Amber says, very rocker. It's a favorite of mine. Grits with bacon and toast. That just sounds like dinner to me.
Right?
I spent many years coming home at 4 o'clock in the morning from a show and stopping at the Waffle House or the Denny's and eating breakfast. To me, that's just what you eat for dinner.
I've made his breakfast for dinner quite a few times, too.
Yep. Oddly enough, I never eat breakfast for breakfast.
We're never awake for breakfast.
Aaron says, they made them separate now. You can buy the ones that are just peaches, or you can buy the whole box of the strawberries and cream. I've seen it at Walmart. I guess it's a new thing.
Sweet.
And Maureen says, Extreme Rocker, I'll be praying for you and your new job. Us too. Rocker says, I get it. Cilantro isn't for everybody, especially if you have the gene where it tastes like soap. I don't know if it tastes like soap, but it certainly ain't good. And it's like, I don't know, it like pokes me in the back of the throat in a way that I just don't find comfortable. I don't know how to describe it. Like eating tobacco or something like that. It kind of burns. It's not pleasant. I don't enjoy cilantro at all. Amanda says, oh, cool. Will you read that?
I can't. I'm in the middle of an ad.
Oh, cool. I'll have to look. Patty says, good. Right on. Extreme Rocker says, Amber, that's delicious. I'd probably add sausage and biscuits with that. Amber says, LOL, Jake. I'm me as well. Good news, bad news, right? Don't pretend to be something I'm not. Patty says, it's good that you're loyal, Jake. I believe in loyalty. I think that's a very important trait. And I don't call people that aren't loyal. I will kick you to the curb just as quick as you decide to betray me if you ever in that boat. I do not play that game. I'm loyal to you. You should be loyal back.
Right.
John says, Weetabix is like a oatmeal biscuit. Not biscuits you have. Right. Like the cracker type biscuit. Cookie type biscuit.
I'd beat him if he wasn't Patty, LOL.
Amber says, the cookie again, Nugget. Kevin says, the only thing I won't eat is beef liver. Yuck.
Ew.
Well, I'll eat liver. It's got to be washed and piping hot, though. My mother could make liver, and it was tasty. But I've never had anybody else make it that I could eat it. Can you see that? That's a Weetabix. Thank you, John. Amber says, might as well have sausage gravy biscuits if you're doing all that. Now that you mention it. Amber says, liver, bleh. Rocker says, thank you, Maureen. I would like to go to graduate school. I'd like to go to graduate school for social work, but this year has been pretty rough for my finances, especially with a bad accident that costed me $2,500 to repair my car. It's terrible, man. You'll get there. Keep fighting it. You'll get there. Just make good decisions and live small. Debbie says, well, when we get married, Kevin, it's beef liver every night for dinner. That's a good way not to get married. Aaron says, I know when I go to the Waffle House, if there's a big black lady behind the counter, that food's about to be good. I agree. Patty says, get the stick. Amber says, LOL. Oh, Lord, Debbie. Kevin says, Debbie, is that a promise? Debbie says, you darn skippy it is, Kevin. Rocker says, Aaron, especially when the server calls you baby or honey, you know it's a good place to eat. That's called Southern hospitality, and that means it's good. That's right. Aaron says, facts, Rocker. Amber says, Debbie, if I visit you, I'm bringing snacks. Because of the liver? Yeah. Might need to.
I don't even like the smell of liver cooking.
Gotta get a refill on that coffee, please.
Yep.
You gotta be careful these days. Amber says, awful waffle. Everyone was babe or hun. It's supposed to be that way. That's part of the server client experience. If you don't do it that way, you're not a good server, in my opinion. Aaron says, I don't think I've ever had liver. Well, it's bitter and usually smothered in gravy and piping hot because that's the only way you can swallow it. But it's really good for your blood. If you want to get well quickly, eat liver. Kevin says, suddenly beef liver don't sound so bad. Right? Liver and onion gravy. That's right, John. Debbie says, I have never cooked a beef liver, but I am willing to learn. Well, here's a tip. Wash it thoroughly before you cook it. After you thaw it out, wash it. Soak it in milk and then cook it. If you don't wash it, you're eating a bunch of stuff you really don't want to eat because you got to think about what a liver does. The liver is your body's filter, so that means everything bad that you eat goes through it. So you want to wash that out thoroughly. But after you do all of that, and you cook it in gravy and onions and serve it when it's so hot you can barely put it in your mouth, and that is the best time to eat it. If it starts cooling off even a little bit, it ain't good anymore. Rocker says, I guess if you're out with your lady, that's a severe calling you. if you're out with your lady, that a server calling you baby or honey might have your date upset. No, not in South, they won't. You could immediately tell that your date was a Yankee if that's the case, because in the South, that's the same thing as saying hello. Honey and baby is just a pleasantry. Doesn't mean anything. Cowboy says, I like liver once in a while. I don't like it, but I can eat it once in a while. Aaron says, what's it taste like? Bitter meat. It's just bitter, that's all. It has a strong taste and it's kind of bitter. No, not like chitlins. It might smell like it, but it don't taste like it. Amber says, liver is about the same as politics. We prefer liver talk. Kevin says, liver is loaded with iron, but I'd rather eat a rusty bolt. Right. Patty says, or sugar. I've never thought about putting sugar on it. Amber says, oh, you talking about calling somebody sugar? Yeah. Amber says, Southern hospitality, we're friendly until, right?
Or darling.
Until bless your little pea-picking heart. That means you're in trouble. John says, steak and kidney pudding. Well, nice.
Right. Yuck.
Aaron says, my mom used to do fried chicken gizzards. Is that kind of the same thing? It kind of has a similar flavor to gizzards, but not quite the same thing. Gizzards is how chickens digest things. They mull it around in the gizzard, and it kind of like sandpaper. It wears it down, makes them digest it easier. So it's sort of like a liver, but not quite. And liver ain't quite like gizzards in that gizzards are chewy. The more you chew them, the tougher they get. You got to really work on a gizzard to get it broke up enough to swallow it. Liver is kind of soft and chews very easily.
And it's black. Ugh.
Patty says, we'll call you sugar, right? Debbie says, I love deep fried chicken liver dipped in ketchup. Mm-hmm. Rocker says, I'm glad to see you think the same. When I go to El Salvador and the server calls me sweetie, my date gets upset, but fails to understand that they're just being nice. Right. Or you tell your date, there ain't nothing to worry about. That's just the way people talk. I didn't know they did that in El Salvador, but that is south of the equator, but whatever. Amber says, do what, Nugget? I think he said kidney and beef liver. Something like that. Pudding or something, I can't remember. Yeah, steak and kidney pudding. Amber says, gizzards are what you catfish with. Yep. Aaron says, saltwater fish too. Yeah, all kind of fish like gizzards. Extreme Rocker says, gizzards and liver are pretty intimidating to cook for me. If you mess up by a little, it won't be pleasant. True. Bill Bennett says, gotta go. Night, Untethered Live fam. Hope to see you all for Bible study. Thanks, Jake. Bill, thank you for being here, brother. Have a good night. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Night, Bill.
John says it's not sweet pudding. It's like pastry, but steamed. Amanda says, you said that.
Mm-hmm. Patty says the simple way to say "kiss my behind" is "bless your heart." Right?
That's right. Bless your little heart. Amber says, hugs. Good night, Bill. Get rest, my friend. Prayers and smiley face. Kevin says, if a woman cooks for me, I will eat it and say it's good. Me too. After all, she went through the trouble to cook it. Amen. That's how my mama raised me. You eat what's on your plate. And I do. Amanda's always saying, I want to cook something you like. I'm like, I ain't got to like it. Just cook it. I'll eat it. It ain't about liking it. Aaron says, Patty, I learned when a Southern woman says, try me, don't. Because she means business. Amen to that.
That's a FAFO right there, Aaron.
Maureen says, good night, Bill. Kevin says, one of the only times I will lie. Amber says, Papa called gizzards stink bait. Yeah, because they stink after they're in that little jar for a while.
Especially when they've sat out in the sun all day.
Kevin says, good night, Bill. That's like meat pie or something. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's steak and kidney pudding.
Ugh.
I need to get my phone attached to my OBS somehow so I can just show what's on it. I have a program that could do that. I just ain't never used it. Thank you, John. Rocker says they do that in most Latin American countries. They say cariño, love or sweetie, especially if you're a younger person. Right on. Patty says, hey, eating Jell-O is good for you. It's got bone marrow. Jell-O has bone marrow in it?
Yeah. It's made with bone marrow.
Jell-O?
Yes.
I thought it was made with gelatin
It has
and pectin.
It's bone marrow.
First time I'm hearing that. And John says, send you a pic. I got it. Rocker says, definitely more popular in rural areas, but urban people are distant. Right on. Amber says, Rocker, do you play an instrument, sing, or just jam out? That's a good question. Aaron says, Amber, you can mash it up. I used the blood, and we used to make flour balls and put it in nylon stockings and make dough bait. Gross. Amber says, green team, you go ahead with all that. I think I'm good. For fish, it works, says Aaron. Yeah, fish ain't picky. They'll eat anything. Rocker says, Amber, funny enough, no. LOL, but I'm practicing my guitar. That's all you can do. I'm practicing mine too. Though I do sing nicely and have always wanted to join a band, but bands around me are rare. Amber says, so you're learning to play? If you are lucky, Jake plays sometimes. I do, sometimes. Amber says, Jell-O has horse hoof in it. I've never heard of that either. I thought it was pectate.
I've never heard of the horse hoof, but I have heard of the marrow.
Well, I like Jell-O. So.
I love Jell-O. I like nanner pudding, too.
Was I got spiders in it?
Nanner pudding?
Rocker says, yes, Amber, the username was made when I was a teen, but I kept it because it has sentimental value. Haha. Well, here, you keep playing that guitar. There is no magic. The more you put your hands on it, the better at it you'll get. It's that simple. It takes 10,000 hours to be a master at anything. 10,000 hours, that's the rule of thumb. So you just keep practicing, you'll do fine. I'll be glad to show you some stuff if you ever get to where you want to know. John says in Britain it's gelatin, right? It is here too. But apparently they say it has bone marrow in it. Amber says, nice, Rocker. I used to play violin. Didn't like it. Why not? Why didn't you like to play violin? It's a beautiful instrument if done correctly.
Debbie says, when my son worked in the meat packing plant, he worked in the rendering department. They cooked down the blood and bones to a powder and sold it to Jello companies.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Learn something new every day. Rocker says, not a lot of people can eat or have gelatin because it can have pork bones in it. I'm learning new stuff all day. Kevin says, as far as I know, Patty is 100% correct. Jello is derived from bone marrow and very good for you. Hey, I don't doubt it. I'm not doubting her. I just didn't know that. Amber says, I had to cut my nails. I love my nails. Did you put it in Jello? On one hand, I'm grossed out, and on the other hand, I'm intrigued. I like Jello, but I didn't know I was eating bone marrow. John says, Trotter's pig's feet. Amber says, goof to play violin. Oh. Well, that's just the nature of violin, but Dolly Parton figured it out. She played guitar and she had big old long fingernails. So if she could do it, you could do it. It'd be weird, but it could be done. But yeah, you got to cut your nails. I cut my nails on one hand and let them grow on the other because I use those to pick with.
He just got a pedicure the other day.
Not exactly.
You did? Your nails cut and filed. That's a pedicure.
I think there's other stuff involved.
The only thing I didn't do was soak your feet.
Aaron says most gummy candies are bone marrow and collagen. Starburst is the same thing unless you get the vegetarian version. I didn't know that either. And I like Starburst. Dolly does bark. She also tunes her guitar to an open E so she can play with one finger. Kevin says it's one of the reasons large predators in Africa survive droughts. They have the jaw poser to break the bones and live off the marrow inside.
Jaw power,
yeah. Rocker says, I understand that, Amber. I played viola before. The orchestra teacher got mad that my viola strings broke when I was in elementary school and didn't appreciate her tone, so I quit the instrument. Right on.
Hold on.
A lot of people turn people away from instruments because of their attitude.
The key ingredient that gives Jello its wobbly, jiggly texture. Gelatin is a protein derived from collagen extracted from animal connective tissues, usually pork skins, cattle bones, and hides. It's not vegetarian or vegan.
Interesting. That's right, Debbie. Dolly's fingers double as a capo. Ha ha. They do. That's actually how she plays, like a capo. She tunes to open E, and then she just runs her finger up and down the frets to find the 1, 4, and 5. It works. They call it chewing the cud, says John. Right on. Amber says, makes me think about what all they put in our food supply.
You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
Don't watch them make hot dogs or chicken nuggets.
No. As a matter of fact, stop right now. Don't ever look at a Dorito chip under a microscope. Never, never, never. You will gross yourself out and not be able to eat anything ever again. Stop while you're ahead. That's my warning. Don't say I didn't warn you. Extreme Rocker says, I picked it up because my sister played it. Right on. Jello is like Debbie, says Kevin. They both wiggle when you eat them.
Damn, Kevin.
That's a good one, Kev. John says, bubble gum, chewing gum. Right on. That's also made out of the same material. Yep. Amber says, be right back. Bathroom. TMI.
All right.
If you just got up and went, we'd never know. Aaron says, in medicine and food, the most famous example is warfarin, which is the exact same chemical used in rat poison. Yes. It's called strychnine. In a tiny controlled dose, it is life-saving prescription medicine used to prevent blood clots. Correct. Extreme Rocker says guitar, piano, bass, and pipe organ are the instruments I'm most interested in learning. That sounds like my resume.
He's missing drums.
Yep. And a few other things. And John says blood thinning, yes. And Debbie says, Kevin, you make me blush. Oh, you guys are cute. Aaron says, I learned that fun fact that I put above because I used to work at Kellogg, and you'd be surprised at what they put in cereal. When I learned it, I could barely eat it. Well, originally, cornflakes was designed to stop children from getting erections.
Yep.
That's what its intent was. And when they realized it didn't work so well, they branded it as cereal. But that's they didn't want the children in the nunneries and such having erections and all the things that come from getting erections.
That's okay. I found out not too long ago that ketchup used to be a pill. Ketchup was formed for a pill.
Kevin says, Debbie, I don't want to make you blush. I want to make you gush. Damn. You turn your fingers upside down and reach up inside and do that.
Bam, bam,
Look,
bam.
come here. Pull a little bit hard on that bone. Trust me. Amber says, don't tell me I love cereal. Well, your cereal was intended for a man's penis, just so you know. Debbie says, my husband brought home a pig penis and told me he saved it from the hot dog bin. A pig penis. Yeah, they probably put that in there. They put human fingers in there too. There's a surprising number of human fingers in hot dogs. The number is not 0. Amber says, Rocker, how young are you? Rocker says, science and food is quite the interesting thing. They find ways to make things that taste like vanilla and citrus, but the other side is stuff like Roundup that cause health problems. Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive. Those lines blur quite often. A lot of the food you eat cause health problems. And Extreme Rocker says, I'm 29 years old. Patty says, well, I guess I will see all of you tomorrow to worship and learn the Lord's word. Good night, all. Lord bless us all. Patty, I love you, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. I'm not far behind you. God bless.
Night, Patty.
And John says, glove puppet. Who you calling glove puppet? Amber says, hugs. Good night, Patty. Get some rest. Hearts and prayers and smiley faces. Kevin.
Yep, go ahead.
Kevin says, good night, Patty. Amanda.
Night, Patty.
Amber says, pleasure to meet you, Rocker. You're my daughter's age. And Rocker says, have a good night, Patty. And Rocker's been here before. Aaron says, I like looking for quarters in the payphone. That's what my dad used to say. For the making the gusher thing. Yes. Except the other direction. Kevin says, I don't even want to know what is in my 7-Eleven burritos. Yeah, you don't. You really don't.
Yeah, or Taco Bell. Or McDonald's.
Yeah. There's a striking amount of I don't want to know that goes into eating. Because when you do know, it's difficult. When you realize that some things that you buy fresh have been on a shelf for years and is actually zombie food. Like apples.
Yep.
They paint apples. Some of them have been in freezer storage for years.
Well, that's what that waxy coat is on them to keep them looking fresh.
Yeah.
You ever take an apple and drop it in hot water? And that white film that comes up over it? That's all toxins.
Amber says, none of us do, big dog. Extreme says, nice to meet you too, Amber. I bet your daughter is a lovely lady. Aw. Amber says, you talk and carry yourself like our otter friend. Too bad he's not here. Our otter friend? I remember you calling somebody otter, but I don't remember who it was. There's Linda. Happy Saturday, all. Hey, Linda. Nice to see you, lady. John says, I always wash my oranges wax.
Yeah, well, you peel oranges, so that's not as bad. Most people don't peel an apple.
I peel an apple.
I do too, but most people don't. They just chop it and eat it. Or take a bite out of it.
Maureen says, take care and God bless y'all. I'm going to call it a night and take more pain meds.
Good night, Maureen. Hamburger helper hand, Linda.
Prayers, Maureen. I hope you get to feeling better, hon. Kevin says, hello, Linda. Amber says, Linda, good evening, lovely. Amanda says, good night, Maureen.
I already said that.
Amber says, Maureen, have a wonderful night's rest. Have a wonderful night and rest easy. Aaron says, same. Same. Linda says, the boys just left. I'm so lucky to have them. I'm glad you had a good night.
Did it get stuff fixed for you?
Kevin says, Maureen, sorry you're in so much pain. I hope you feel better soon. Amen to that.
I got Jake to get my big recliner in today so I could get some pressure off my back.
Rocker says, same thing happened with cheese. Government cheese was a thing because we made so much cheese that we had to store it and give it to school. Reason why cheese sandwiches are the cheapest at schools.
Yes, we have a big a cave or whatever you want to call it that's slap full of cheese.
Yes, we have a government facility that stores cheese for some reason. Aaron says, like apples, I left one out one time as an experiment for almost 6 months and it never rotted. It just got soft. and the pills stayed the same because of wax.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You won't ever question reality, go buy a Big Mac, take it out of the wrapper and set it up on a shelf, and just leave it there for a year.
Or the French fries.
And see what happens to it. Even bugs won't eat a Big Mac. And it won't rot. It'll look exactly the same a year later.
It won't mold. It won't change color. It won't do anything.
Nope, no mold or nothing. It'll just get hard.
When I was detailing cars, there was a whole cheeseburger underneath the seat of a car. And I could not tell you how long it had been there. But it had been there a long time because everything else.
You probably could have ate it too.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I mean, it was like a hockey puck, but no.
Maureen says, thanks, Amanda, Amber, and Kevin.
You're welcome, Maureen.
And Jake. Amber says, Maureen, I'm praying for you. Prayers, hearts, and smiley faces. And Maureen says, Amber, smiley face. John says, when they ship in bananas, most have tarantulas in the boxes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's because they live in bananas trees. Amber says, that's nasty as F. KKKK. You don't eat the tarantulas, though. See, a tarantula goes up into a tree and dies, and its legs drop down, and then it forms mold around it like a spider web, and then it turns into a banana. And if you cut a banana open, you can see the little black spots where the legs were. True story. Maureen says, Aaron, you can have some of the apples from the trees in my yard. I have pears, too.
Yum.
I bet those aren't years old.
I want a kumquat tree.
Aaron says, my back is wrapped, Amanda.
I hear you.
Amber says, I'd like a pet spider for an entire 30 seconds.
Tarantulas are cool to have as a pet. Believe it or not.
You get a spider anywhere near me, I'm killing it.
You better not. No, you won't. You'll get me to do it.
That's me killing it. I gave the order. That's good enough. Rocker says, thank you, Amber. I had to grow up pretty early because my dad was pretty absent due to work. And my and two of my coaches picked me for some reason.
Picked on me for some reason.
I don't know. Do you look funny? Are you short? Can you not throw a ball? I don't know why they would pick on you. Maybe they were just trying to toughen you up because they recognized that you needed to get tough. Could be that. We were talking about manhood earlier. It's a funny thing, the way that men think. Sometimes we do mean things for good reasons. Aaron says pears are my favorite, Maureen.
Yeah, mine too. And I like plums and cantaloupe and honeydew. Those are my favorites.
Yeah, I'm a simple guy. Amber says, Rocker, my coaches love to hate me. And Debbie says, Amanda, are those what you cut in half for a spoon or a knife to predict the winter?
No. No, those are the little bitty orange-looking things where you just pop they're a little bit bigger than a jumbo grape, and they got an orange peel-looking thing, and it feels like an orange peel, and you pop the whole thing in your mouth at one time.
And that's a kumquat.
Yes.
That's the one that I like.
You like a loquat.
Okay. I got those confused in my head. They're backwards.
Loquat is the fuzzy one with the soft skin.
Amber says honeydew's my favorite. Honeydew's good.
Delicious.
With a little salt on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aaron says, when I found out they had tarantulas in the orange trees and the banana trees here in Florida, it freaked me out. I don't like spiders at all.
Yeah, but the tarantulas in Florida are not as big as the tarantulas from across the waters.
Yeah, also, don't be a fruit picker. Amber says the green melon.
Yes.
Yep. I know what a honeydew is. John says kiwi fruit or dragon fruit as well. Nice.
Ugh, I don't care for neither one of those. They're too citrusy to me.
Yeah. Aaron says honeydew is good. I never had dragon fruit. Is that the spiky one?
Yes. And kiwi's the little green one with all the seeds in it, the little circle.
Kevin says, y'all making me hungry.
Right?
I know, right? Debbie says, then
Ooh.
come over and eat me, Kevin.
Damn it.
Come on now. Extreme Rocker says, nah, soccer coaches, and it was because I come back from El Salvador the day after preseason starts. I had to go because my grandma had Alzheimer's and wanted to be sure that we saw her before she went. That's a good reason. John says, pomegranate. I've never tasted a pomegranate. I've had pomegranate juice. I didn't like it. I've never tasted a pomegranate. Amber says, nice, Rocker. How many languages do you speak? Debbie says, see what Kevin has reduced me to? I was a good girl once. Lies.
Lies. Let me get away from Debbie before I get struck by lightning.
Kevin says, Debbie, it's a 20-hour and 16-minute drive. Don't ask me how I know that.
Uh-huh. Somebody's stalker.
Paying out.
He's uncontemplated.
Rocker says, Amber, did you play softball? Amber says, Debbie, we know you. Kevin says, Debbie's only saying that because she knows my truck won't start.
She's teasing you, Kevin.
Mine won't either, Kevin. Amber says, Rocker, for years, yes, catcher. And Debbie says, Amber, no matter what you think, I am proper lady. Haha.
Properly dirty.
Yeah, you're a proper pervert.
She's a pervert. Get it right.
I did. John says, I'm allergic to pomegranates. I didn't know you could be allergic to a pomegranate.
Yeah, it's a fruit.
What's that got to do with the price of tea in China?
I know a lot of people that are allergic to fruits.
It's weird.
Acid in the fruit
I'm not allergic to anything
that you know of.
that I know of.
I'm allergic to penicillin.
Must suck to have herpes.
I wouldn't know. I've never had it.
You do now.
No, I don't.
Amber says, Debbie, I think you are the best. Oh. My daughter is allergic to pears, says Amber. And Rocker says, so far 2 languages, but I'm learning Japanese. Konnichiwa. I wanted to work at Japan as an English or Spanish teacher, but no luck. That's a hard job to get into. John says, I'm allergic to penicillin too.
Yeah, I am deathly allergic to penicillin. Like, my throat will swell shut immediately.
Kevin says, I'm allergic to sunlight. Try dealing with that. I don't think I could.
I was, when I was on Thorazine. I wasn't allowed to be in the sun.
Amber says, so Spanish as well? Cowboy says, I fell asleep. Well, you're here. That's all that matters.
I know, my recliner is so comfortable, I want to fall asleep sitting back here yawning.
Aaron says, like lupus, Kevin? And Linda says, Kevin is a mushroom. That mean you keep him in the dark and throw shit on him all the time?
Keep him in the dark and feed him bullshit.
Amber says, Cowboys, I'm happy we help you relax. John says, I'm allergic to women, too. We all are that.
Don't feel bad. We're all allergic. Y'all men, too.
I swell all up every time I get around one.
And then spit at them.
Debbie says, Linda, he is a vampire mushroom. Gross. Rocker says it's very competitive and not the most lucrative. And with the recent craze of people liking that part of the world, it just makes chances more slim, right? I had a friend who taught over there at periods of time during the year, and they told me that it was a very difficult position to ascertain. Prop her lady, says Aaron. Kevin says, I'm like a vampire without the perks. You want to suck your blood, you just can't ever get to do it. Pardon me. Stream Rocker says, yep, I speak Spanish fluently, but definitely need to improve more. See? El Rocker, mi mejor papito es mucho grande, señor. Aaron says, prop her leg, prop her up, etc. That's a proper lady, all right.
Y'all so dirty.
Dirty, dirty dog, dirty, dirty dog. Well, I'm pooped, everybody.
Me too.
It's about that time for me to go to bed and pass out. Please like, subscribe, share, support, join, and if you would, please. BJ. It is an important necessity of my life, and I appreciate it very much. Amber says, up against the jukebox. Proper up against the jukebox. That's right. If you're in a video. Kevin says, by perks, I mean the hot women. Well, just use that charm on them. Look at them and go, see if it works. It worked for Bella Lugosi. Amber says, hugs, y'all. Good night. Good night, Amber. John says, good night. Okay, everybody, be safe. I said that backwards, but he said all those words. John, Amber, Kevin, Debbie, Linda, I love you all. Rocker. Who'd I miss?
Ready?
Who?
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Nighters all, see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Untethered Live for Bible study. Much love,
right.
y'all. And definitely feed Jake. He's expensive.
Hush. Kevin says, good night, everyone. And Linda says, Debbie, did Kevin just diss you? I don't know if he dissed her, but he left a mark. Amber says, nice meeting you, Rocker. Yeah, come on back to see us tomorrow night, Rocker. Rocker says, good night, everybody. I hope y'all have a nice one. I hope you do, too. Come back and see us. Matter of fact, hit that subscribe button. Become a subscriber if you haven't been already.
I think he is.
I think he did, Linda, says Debbie.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's grounds for an ass whooping, Kevin.
Aaron says, Jake, good show. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Extreme Rocker says, nice to meet you, Amber. Cowboy says, good night. And Linda says, good night. And Debbie says, good night all except for you, Kevin. Damn it, man. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great night. I enjoyed the company. I really did. And I hope you all had fun, too. It wasn't an argument night. It was a good conversation night. We got through it, though. Rocker says, yep, I am, LOL. And Kevin says, Linda, LOL. All right. God bless you. Have a great night. Thanks for watching.
Good
See ya.
night, everybody.